You guys cut out again. Hello? What the heck? Oh.
In the stillness somewhere above, the city lights, you're falling in love. Still aware, you know it is true, that you were lost and this is a clue. Love is forever, love is forever. To believe you gotta let go. Light as a feather, light as a feather. Lucid dreaming over Tokyo. With the music still in your ears, you're on your way to conquer your fears. In this dream of your own desire, there is someone calling your name. Love is forever, love is forever. To believe you gotta let go. Light as a feather, light as a feather. Lucid dreaming over Tokyo. To believe you gotta let go. Lucid.
We'll actually manage to hit that target this year, though.
There we go. Hopefully people can hear me now. For
Did
some
y'all do
reason
it-
it popped up
Did it end up
the wrong
bi-monthly
thing.
last year?
No, we haven't done a podcast in like a month, and we skipped several months in last year.
Yeah.
So we only did like 6 or 7.
So bi-monthly.
Yeah, it's probably more
Welcome
accurate.
to
right now.
our bi-monthly podcast.
Anyway,
We should schedule
we
get set down
we are
in stone.
going to
We'll get-
change hopefully this year. Get things
New
done.
year, new me.
New year, new us. That's right. All right. So
Plural.
without further ado, today let me go ahead and introduce everybody. We have Blake again. Blake has been with the show since the get-go. We also would like to introduce MQ. MQ, are you on?
Hey, what's up?
There we go. Now,
what is
MQ,
up?
real quick, is probably better than Smash than all of you listeners right now. So if you want to challenge him, that's up to you. You can hit him up later. But he did want me to inform you that he is a Grinch League believer, and he's still holding on for hope.
Well, I was, yeah.
Are you talking about that
Hurts my
leaked image
feelings.
where it's the Grinch wearing a mask holding a gun?
Yes, that one, exactly. I think he's in. I mean, I see this one. It looks like a meme, but it's not a meme. It's actually a real leak of Grinch holding the little invitation, the exact same one that Joker got.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, President Trump got one too. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's pretty hilarious, actually. All right. And
What would
also with
President Trump's
us,
stage look like?
he is, in fact, super smart. This next guy is a special guest for this episode. He is a PhD in virtual vehicle dynamics and propulsion. This is, ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to Dr. Quinn.
What's up, everybody? What's up, my Twitches?
That's a pretty amazing set of title you got there.
I know, man. It took me about 8 years to get that degree.
Wow.
Check.
Yeah, I don't know why, but for some reason, it didn't like us there, and it cut out audio, so I apologize about that. But we're back. And again,
Wow.
MQ, he has a PhD. He's a pretty cool guy.
MQ or
No,
Dr.
yeah,
Quinn.
you're right, Dr. Quinn.
forget MQ. It's Dr.
it-
Quinn, baby.
Yeah. I'm not a doctor, guys. I'm sorry.
Mr. Dr. Quinn.
You, like
Mr.
me and my
Mr.
friends,
Mr. Dr. Quinn.
realize that,
MQ short for Mr. Quinn.
well,
Captain Mr.
there's
Dr.
just
Quinn.
better things to do than go to
Captain
school
Mr.
for
Dr.
8 years.
Yeah.
Unlike
Doctor.
Dr. Quinn. Dr.
Captain
Quinn
Mr.
went to school
Dr.
for 8
Quinn,
years, just so he could learn virtual
Vehicle
vehicle
dynamics and
dynamics and
propulsion.
propulsion.
Yeah.
How much debt are you in?
How much debt? I'm about $100,000.
That's it?
Nice.
That's it.
Hey,
Yeah.
that's pretty good.
Got that community college budget right there.
Oh my God, you don't even know MQ.
Yeah, dude. All right, so guys, again, welcome to the show. We actually have a really good show for you guys this evening. But real quick, a couple of things involving housekeeping around here at Info Arcade. So again, this is our monthly podcast. We are going to plan on doing this once a month, every month of 2019. So make sure you guys tune in. It's a lot of fun. And also, if you guys are watching us over on Twitch, make sure you guys do your part. Interact with us. Let us know you guys are here. Also, let us know your opinions. Feel free to chime in. Give some feedback on what we're saying. If you hear anything on this show that you realize is probably not factual, or you realize that we're wrong, go ahead and say, hey, you're wrong.
Except,
it's this.
I mean, that'll never happen. We're always factual. We always triple,
We're
quadruple,
always right. Oh,
quintuple check.
Hold on. Somebody's already writing in, you're wrong, you're never right. Okay,
What?
so
No. Wait, hold
Really?
on. Hey,
Really?
listen
No.
here, you little...
Oh.
Okay.
they wouldn't dare argue with us.
We're gods.
Oh, somebody's saying you're wrong, we would. Okay.
Who wrote
Well,
that?
dang.
Who's that?
Well, dang, I can't argue with
Are you
that.
being serious?
No.
All right.
Oh,
But
okay.
just the one time.
Yeah, just
No.
the one time. Anyway, tonight we do have some exciting announcements for you guys, in addition to the podcast happening every single month this year. And we are really going to stick to it. We're going to make it happen. And how we're doing this is, like I said, we're adding MQ officially on to the Info Arcade team. So every
What?
time we do these podcasts,
Welcome, MQ.
he will be here probably subbing in or filling in every now and then. We'll always have at least 3, possibly 4 individuals with us
But not.
at all times. We're also
Oh.
going to be reaching out to try to bring on special guests occasionally, and we have some really fun guests hopefully lining up
Oh, I
for
get
later
it.
this year.
So
Dr.
he's
Quinn.
our Krendor.
I don't even know
What
that
the
means.
fork?
Oh,
I don't get that
okay.
reference.
That's okay. People who watch other gaming podcasts will get it.
Or a specific gaming podcast.
Probably a specific one, but
Taste
you know the
But we can't
largest
talk
one.
about them.
Can
Why
we
can't we
not?
talk
We
about
can
them?
talk about 'em. Who are you talking about?
Co-optional podcast.
Oh. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So yeah, sure. Whatever Blake said.
Okay.
All right. Also,
That's fine.
some other news in terms of upcoming housekeeping. You guys want to know what is happening over with our thoughts for 2019. Well, we're going to bring that to you in a 2019 wish list video. It's coming up later this month, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that one. It's going to be talking about all the top 10 things that we want to see in 2019 from the video game world.
Wait, is it only 10? Did we narrow it down to 10
I think we're going to do 10 each.
this year?
Yeah.
Oh, what a shame. So
10
Ooblets is
each.
number 1, right?
10 each, and it doesn't have to be real. It can be fictional.
Oh,
It's just it's a wish list.
okay. So like Ooblets then,
Sure, whatever you
because
want.
it's definitely
Paper
gonna be on
Mario, Thousand Year Door, the sequel. I don't know.
there. That's dumb.
Okay.
Ooblets
Whatever
is
you
better.
want, whatever your heart desires.
I want.
But either way,
Ooblets.
we're producing a video to cover that, and then we also have another video coming out
Give Ooblets.
recapping everything in 2018, all of our thoughts and opinions. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. It's going to be a very great special video that I'm sure you guys are all going to really enjoy its content. Another thing we have planned is, don't forget, we have our streams. Our schedule is posted on Twitch. You guys can typically find us every day. Sunday, I have myself over on Twitch. Monday, or Pokemon Mondays, we have Blake playing a Pokemon game right now. He's going through Pokemon Yellow.
So far, we got to Pewter City after 2 hours. God, the game. Was the game always that slow?
2 hours to PD.
2 hours to Pewter City.
Was it always that slow?
You could have. You realize you could have
Then
just
you have
gotten in the car and
Pikachu.
drove to Dallas. Probably
Then you
the
have
same
like
amount of time.
Pikachu, and it's Geo that you have to fight.
Yeah, but I mean,
And Graveler.
I wanted to get my team to like level 8, and I thought, that's not going to be too
No,
hard.
not
It
even
took
close.
2 hours.
No, the idea is to go into Viridian Forest, catch a Caterpie, level up to level 10. Then you have Butterfree,
that.
and then you just destroy Brock.
Brock's not going to die to a level 10 Caterpie. I got it.
No, level 10 Butterfree.
No, it's
See, I would
Yeah,
not.
it
It takes like
Confusion or
it takes
something?
2 confusions and it's over.
That's not been my. I don't
You
know
catch-
if I want to try
He's
it.
like, I don't know if I want to do it.
Are you-
They're playing
you
my
can-
game for me. I don't like it.
I'm gonna go to 12, I think,
Okay.
before trying, and then I want to get Nidoran up as a backup.
Okay, fair enough. I don't think you'll need it. Anyway, you can catch him Pokemon Mondays over on Twitch. Then back here on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. You can find somebody on the channel, probably me. Actually, I take that back. Tuesdays, I think, are our off day. Typically, until we fill that gap. But definitely Sunday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, you could find me over here on Twitch streaming something. Later this week, we have some really fun games planned for you, so make sure you guys tune in, 8:15 p.m. Central Time. And who knows, if you guys come join us, join the arcade as we call it, we would be grateful to have you. We have a lot of really fun stuff coming up for our subs over on Twitch. We also really appreciate
Subs
our
on
subs.
Twitch.
Right now, our sub, as we just got affiliate this week, was Caden. So, Caden, thank you so much. Here's your shout out, man. We appreciate you supporting the channel. And if you, too, would like to support, you guys can go to www.twitch.tv/infoarcade. Click that subscribe button so that way you guys can be involved in supporting us and the arcade. Now, without further ado, let's get into some news. But first off, we're going to do a favorite segment. And this is a segment I know we actually grew really fond of last year and attached, and it is called One-Ups and Blue Shells. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me explain how this works. One-Ups and Blue Shells is a really fantastic thing. We give one-ups to everything that we love happening in the gaming world. And, of course, if you've ever played Mario Kart, you hate it when somebody decides to nuke you with a blue shell. And so we throw blue shells at the things we absolutely hate. So, we're going to go ahead and start off today with some one-ups. So, guys, do you have any one-ups for us? Anybody?
Well, here's the thing: is that not a lot's happened in January, but
You don't say.
we can. Sure, we can think of something. Jaden, what do you got?
He's like, yeah. Okay, well, let's look
I
back.
didn't have one.
You're right. In January, there's not really much to happen. But if you look back at the holiday
Oh, yeah.
season, we had a lot of crazy stuff happen.
We had the Game Awards.
We had the video game awards, and there was a lot of great winners. Dead Cells, one of the games we've streamed right here on Info Arcade, won Indie Game of the Year.
Good
We
job, Dead
had
Cells.
a lot of
Nice.
great games. Overwatch won Best Esports Game, so
okay.
that was pretty incredible. Considering they just launched Overwatch League this year, I think that was an impressive feat for them, and it was honestly probably the best video game awards they've had in a long time.
And then, of course,
So
Game of the Year.
One up first to Jeff Knightley for putting on such an amazing show. But then, to Blake's point,
Game of the Year, God of War. I think most people can agree that that one was pretty deserved. It was some good contenders this year. Red Dead Redemption 2 came out just before the Game Awards.
Spider-Man PS4 too.
Spider-Man turned out to be phenomenal. Have we ever had a bad Spider-Man game?
no,
But-
we have had several bad Spider-Man games, but I will tell you what, the newest Spider-Man game from Insomniac is absolutely incredible. So it made sense that it was there as a nominee for Game of the Year, as did Red Dead Redemption. It honestly swept a lot of the awards, and Blake was rather worried, being a God of War fan, that it was going to sweep the Game of the Year, and then as soon as he heard God of War, he got really excited. But Red Dead got several awards, so they came out in force, and it was overall a really good show.
What are you talking about, Jaden? That's Morgan, Arthur Morgan from Red Dead Redemption.
You're Arthur Morgan impression?
More Arthur Morgan.
That's great.
Oh, and Celeste was there too.
Oh, yeah, and Celeste. What did it win?
Did Celeste win anything?
It won.
It was nominated for Game of the Year.
It was. It was our last...
It was a dark horse for sure, but fantastic game.
Yeah, so right now, speaking of Celeste, I actually picked it up on
Fantastic
Switch. I've
game
streamed
that
it
I-
here multiple times. It is fantastic. So if you haven't had a chance to check it out, make sure you do it. But it was nominated for Game of the Year. It didn't win, unfortunately. Obviously, it lost to God of War. But Celeste did win an award this year at the Game Awards. It won Best Independent Game.
Oh, okay. Oh,
So-
so it did win an indie game.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
so not Dead Cells.
I think Dead Cells didn't win Best Indie Game. It won like Best Action RPG or something like that.
Okay, I can see
Oh,
that.
that's like
Or-
even bigger though, because that's against all action RPGs.
Yeah. So, but both of those won an award, which was super cool. And right now, if you guys have Xbox Live Gold, you guys can go download Celeste for free
Oh, wow.
with Xbox Live Gold.
Nice.
It's on the Games with Gold.
That's pretty hot. I wish I had an Xbox
So maybe not right
Gold.
now, but the
Wait,
month
it's
of
included with
January,
Games with Gold
it's on Games with Gold. Celeste
for free?
Yeah.
for free. If you
All
have,
right,
if you
I
have
got
Gold,
Game
I'm
Pass.
free.
I'm going to have to go check that out.
you definitely
Yeah,
need to.
nominated
If
Game of the
you
Year.
if you have Dr. Quinn back, I'll tell you all about it.
All right. Sounds
you
good.
like,
You know, speaking of free games, there's another one up we can give out
Oh yeah.
to Epic Games Store.
All right.
oh, yeah,
The
yeah.
Epic Games are opening up their own store. They have several games on there now. Not a whole ton, but they're adding more and stuff. And so you can actually get right now Super Meat Boy. You can just download it completely free. And then What Remains of Edith Finch,
Which is
that's going to be
an
free
amazing
on
game, by the
January
way.
10th. Yeah.
Really.
So they are just giving away free games. And then there's Ashen is a game on here. It's not free. There's Hades, Darksiders 3. So they're making like their own store on here. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, Epic has done such a great job with Fortnite, and then they decided to launch their own Epic Game Store. They're incentivizing players to go to their platform to get free games from them. But another thing they are doing is they are giving a larger number of proceeds from game sales back to developers versus Steam. I think right now they're offering up to 80% back
Yeah.
to the developer. They're only keeping
No,
20%, which is
Yeah,
a
there's
lot more than Steam's like 60 or 50%.
the store's profit margin for developers is crazy. And if it was just somebody was announcing the store, as somebody who plays PC a lot, it's like, oh god, another one. God, we've already got like 5 or 6. I can't. I haven't beat a lot of Ubisoft games just because I don't want to deal with their freaking launcher. But with the Epic Games Store, they're trying to make it. They're positioning as a competitor with Steam using the developers, or by incentivizing developers, and that's something that none of the other platforms have been doing. So that's what makes it particularly good one up in this
This
case.
basically sounds like a
And
Netflix.
just today, the Division
Kinda.
2 from Ubisoft just announced that they're going to be exclusively accessed through the Epic Game Store. It's not going to be at all on Steam. So the only way you can get the Division 2 on PC is going
Oh
through
boy.
Epic.
Wait, the Division 2 is going to be on the
Epic Game Store exclusively.
So it's not going to be on the Ubisoft one.
No, it'll probably be
That's-
on Ubisoft because that's their own store.
Yeah.
But let's be honest, like when you're purchasing games, like I go to, it's like I heard an analogy today by Kind of Funny Games. If you haven't heard the Kind of Funny Games daily podcast, I highly recommend checking them out. The Kind of Funny team is absolutely spectacular.
After you finish watching this.
Definitely finish watching this, then go watch them. And actually, one of the things that they kind of equated this to as like a metaphor. It's just kind of like going to Target versus going to Walmart, right? If there's like a specific one thing you want, yeah, you can go to Target, because you know you're gonna get it there and they have great quality, and that's fine. That's the same with the Ubisoft store. But if I need, like, the way that a lot of people view Steam and the Epic Game Store is because if you go to Walmart, they have everything. So you may stop there for a bread, for example, or an EA game, but at the end of the day, you may show up there and be like, oh, well, they also have this on sale, and they have this, and I wanted to be a part of this. And it creates incentivized more sale. There's more places to go. It keeps it all in a tight-knit library for you and your enjoyment. And so it's easier to access the things. So the other day, I went to Walmart under the impression of, oh, I just need groceries, and then I had a flat tire, so I went ahead and took care and bought a tire. You know?
Yeah.
It's because of the convenience factor, and I really think that's why people would prefer to go to Epic Game Store or Steam versus just Ubisoft. But you're right; it'll be exclusive to Ubisoft. And
One problem
Epic.
with this little metaphor you've built, though, is that people actually like Target. Nobody likes Origin.
facts. I would actually much rather shop at Target. I go to Target at least once a week.
And-
Not even kidding.
Yeah, it's not the only one. I keep remembering. I get excited that there's a new Halo coming out, and then I remember that the only way I'm going to be able to play is by opening the Windows Store, and I'm just, I don't want to do that.
It's true.
It is crazy how much like the where you're getting it from matters and stuff.
Right. It's true. It really does matter.
Yeah. I mean, with things like the Windows Store is a mess. And with Origin, it's more like, even if I bought the game on Steam, I have games from Ubisoft on Steam. I still have to have Origin in addition to that. And Origin usually is run as a form of DRM almost with games. Or at least it was at the time I was playing it. And you can't play games offline. It's... or you couldn't when it launched. You can now, but you have to jump through hoops to do it. It's just frustrating. To
Yeah, you
set all
have to
this
do a
stuff
whole
up.
lot. Yeah.
Yep. For sure.
So anyway, what I'm saying is that's why I haven't bothered finishing Child of Light yet.
Well, one thing EA has done right, and this is our final one-up of the evening, unless Dr. Quinn has something to add, but EA DICE had a very positive reaction from fans towards the new Clone Wars content. They released the Geonosis map. Absolutely beautiful. Biggest and best map in the game by far, even though it only has one mode right now, but they just announced today that they're looking to add new modes to the new Geonosis map.
I've always wanted to run around Geonosis.
Yeah.
Hey, do they have a thing when if you're like in a Geonosis cave, you will turn into a zombie? Is that like a thing yet?
No.
Oh,
it's
when
not.
are they adding that feature?
I don't know. But what I will say...
I wanted to get brain worms.
Nice. One thing I will say
from
is that
the
they have
Geonosian Queen. Why not?
added General Kenobi and General Grievous as playable characters.
Nice.
So they're super fun to play with. And later this month, they get Count Dooku. And then next month, they get an all-new large-scale game mode, including space and ground combat. It involves taking down capital ships, and they're also releasing Anakin as a playable character alongside that. And again, all of this
Sounds
content
like the
is
only mode-
absolutely free with the base game. It's all free DLC,
Finally.
which is great.
That's one up for me. Then
Finally, a mode I want to play.
that's one up because most of the people charge for all that.
Yeah. I think they got so much backlash the following year or with the last game just around DLC that they said, hey, we need to figure out a new method to do this. And then their method was microtransactions. I don't know if you heard about this, but their plan was to sell microtransactions, like, or loot boxes, if you will, to try to help compensate some of that money. And they really screwed up because it hurt a lot of the fans' opinion on the game. But
They screwed up in a lot of ways.
It really seems like they've come a long way and are actually developing a really great game. And they said they're going to continue support through the rest of this year. So
Battlefront 2 definitely has like taken a turnaround for the better. I think.
Yeah, it's a comeback story, if you will, Cinderella story. So pretty exciting being a Star Wars fan. So.
I'm not a Star Wars fan.
Oh, it's a shame. You should definitely play that game though.
Oh, the
Star Wars 6 and 7 are terrible.
Which one do you think it'll go in? The nose or the ears? It's a reference to the
brain worms.
Yeah. Have you not seen?
It's very
Clone
disconnected.
Wars? You know, they're making a new season of Clone Wars. That's not about video games, whatever.
Well,
we're gonna have to have a separate podcast just for.
Can we talk about
just for pop culture?
Yeah, can we have a Star Wars podcast?
We could.
Let's talk about.
We
the
could
new
steal
Clone
my
Wars.
friend's name, the Nerf Herders podcast.
That's cool.
Nerf Herders.
They're called the Nerf Herders podcast.
I want to talk about Clone Wars, but give me time to watch it again.
Actually, you guys can check out the Nerf Herders
time.
over at It Came From the 80s. They are fantastic. Great new podcast to listen to. They are on Facebook, Spotify, and pretty much anywhere you can listen to a podcast. Go check them out.
That's pretty cool.
Yep. All right. And now we get to be negative. Everyone loves being negative.
Negativity, my favorite.
Blue shells. Who do you want to throw a blue shell at today, guys?
All right, so you know, my boy. I don't remember what I actually said. What did I say?
You said no more heroes.
I did not say no more heroes. No more heroes is fine.
You said no more Heroes of the Storm. I was just...
Oh, never mind. You know, no more heroes is a game. Heroes of the Storm. Yeah, so Blizzard, what are you doing?
Blizzard's falling apart.
Activision
Can we just reshape this whole blue shell to just be aimed directly at Blizzard?
We did it but like we talked about BlizzCon in November. In our last
now
podcast.
So
we're talking about it again
since November
with more context.
Okay, just to give you some more context, since November they've lost their second CEO.
What?
They lost
for real?
Yes,
That's crazy.
I haven't heard that.
They lost their CEO in November.
Okay. Yeah.
He left to go work for another company. They lost their second CFO just a few days ago.
I did hear about the first one. I didn't hear about the second one.
Yep. They're falling apart over there.
So, BlizzCon was a disaster in a couple of ways, mainly with the Diablo thing.
Yes.
So already fans are unhappy with it. Memes going everywhere. Trying out do damage control. Then they announce, oh, by the way, Heroes of the Storm, we're canceling that. Sorry. To be fair, the number of people who actually care about Heroes of the Storm is pretty small. Anybody who's played the game recently knows that it's taken a long time to get any matches going or anything, especially if you do modes other than the main 5v5. That said, Heroes of the Storm was a very interesting MOBA on the scene that had a lot of cool ideas going for it, but Blizzard was trying to push it in directions, didn't know what to do with it. And no, go ahead.
There you go. I wasn't saying anything.
Oh.
MQ was,
that
I think.
was me. Oh, okay.
I thought it was MQ.
Yeah, it was.
I was checking audio.
Okay. Yes, Heroes of the Storm was a very interesting game among MOBAs. I remember Late Total Biscuit. He referred to it as like the Smash Brothers of MOBAs.
Yes.
Because you could just pick it up and play it with other friends. Just be like, "Do you want to go for a round on Heroes of the Storm?" You'd be like, "Yeah." Doesn't matter if they're playing Dota or League of Legends. You could pretty much pick up and play that. And matches were fast. They had really fun mechanics, like the two-player character. I'm trying to remember what his name is. Two-headed giant guy. Where one person controls all the abilities and the other person controls the movement. It's awesome. But
that actually sounds.
It's Cho and Gall. Yeah.
Yeah. So cool game. They pushed it as an esport, which was a mistake, I think, in the direction they were trying to go for. And then just decisions from the higher up level. They had a good game, and they kind of squandered its potential, and it lost viewership and player base. And they were like, well, this isn't profitable. We're going to shut it down. And they said that several weeks ago. but I've been told today that they just announced a new character, or they just launched a new character. So
Yeah, they launched a new character yesterday. His name's Imperius. He's from the Diablo series,
uh-huh. He's
and so
you said the warrior?
yeah, he's a warrior class.
Yeah.
But they announced it yesterday, so it's like they've already announced that the game is ending, and then they are like, "Hey, by the way, new character," as if nothing is
So
happening.
is it just like a flip of the switch? Like as soon as they flip the switch, the game's over. They're done.
Yeah, they control
Because
the
it's a-
servers, so when the servers go off, the game goes off.
Huh. That's a shame.
So that's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Have
It's gonna
anything?
be it.
So one reason that I actually did play Heroes of the Storm a bit, and so one of the reasons I really liked it is that unlike Dota and League of Legends and that kind of stuff, it was a lot simpler. It didn't have last hit kills. It didn't. It had a team experience. So it's like everybody's leveling up at the same rate. So if your team is doing well, you're doing pretty well, and that made it a lot more like fair and like kind of like equal between the two sides. So you didn't have like some guy on the opposite team who's level 32 while most of your people are like in the 20s or something. It's like everybody levels up the same. So it's like their team is 18, your team is 18, their team is 19, your team is 20, you guys have a slight advantage, that kind of stuff. And every single map had like a little like slight change to it that made it a little bit more unique and stuff. So it was definitely a good game, and it's going to be something that I'll miss for sure. But yeah, those matches took way too long because the player base just died out so quick.
What caused the huge fan backlash to where they just lost their player base?
Well, I don't think it's fair to call it a backlash per
Okay.
se. It's more like at the time when it was launched, we were at the tail end. We were past the point of market saturation with MOBAs already. We already started seeing some of them close down. Oh, I'm trying to remember who it was. I think EA shut down one of their more hyped up MOBAs recently before Heroes of the Storm came out, or right after it came out. So we were a little bit past the hype point already on that. So not as many people were interested, and it wasn't really built for esports, but they were trying to push it for esports. That's the other problem that seems to pop up, because it's fun to play. I understand it's not very fun to watch,
Right.
and it's not really built for competitive play.
And now
It's
it
built
seems
for
like
fun.
esports. This was just announced today at the AMD CES announcement. Is that there were, I think they said, 20 billion hours spent in 2018 watching esports. No, 6 billion hours. 20 million viewers in
Oh, yeah.
2018.
Yeah, esports are a big thing, and Blizzard managed to make it work with the other properties they have. But a lot of people have argued that, I mean, especially I can at least talk about Hearthstone because I played that one. I mean, like, it really doesn't feel like it should be an esport. It relies on randomness so
Right.
much.
Well, you think about it. I mean, if people are going to look at a MOBA for esports, right now it's League, and that's what people want to watch. And then the casual gamers who don't watch that, it's mostly about battle royales and shooters, and that's typically it. And then Rocket
You got
League.
your Fortnites.
Yeah, those are the things that you typically see that are really taking over from a perspective of esports. But it kind of makes sense for Heroes of the Storm to die. It's just kind of sad. So Blue Show to
Yeah.
Blizzard, get your act together.
Just
Don't know
in
what
general,
you're doing.
Yeah, just in general, Blizzard, just figure things out already.
For the love of Jesus,
Go
please.
back to where you were before. Everybody liked you before.
It's the ugly kid in the room.
All right,
that
any other,
nobody wants
Blue
to hug or
shows?
kiss.
So
Kinda.
Shame, Blizzard, shame.
It's EA right
I would
now.
say
but, yeah,
one
they're
cool thing
getting
that
there.
Blizzard
EA?
is doing.
Yeah.
EA's not that good anymore.
Oh, people hate EA right now. Just in general.
EA's
They're
getting
in
better.
hot water, yeah.
Well,
It's
I
getting
mean,
better.
I'm not saying that they aren't. I'm saying that
Battlefront
people
2 is
hate
getting
them right
better.
now.
So Battlefield 5 is great.
There's still about a
Or Battlefield V.
You just named one property. You didn't name multiple.
Yeah, Battlefield was good. That fixes all the criticism.
We won't dive into EA because we didn't throw a blue shell at EA. We're
Nah.
congratulating EA right now.
Basically, they're just heavily memeable. It's a lot to do with what they did earlier. This
Memeable?
year.
Memeable's a verb?
You mean
No.
last year? It's a new year.
No.
Hey, EA saying new year, new me.
New
Give
Year
him a
resolution.
Give him a
I'll
shot.
be the judge of that. Let's wait until Anthem comes about, then we can make fun
Oh,
of them.
by the way,
Oh yeah.
Anthem does have some demo dates coming up, but
Oh yeah?
we'll be talking about that
Ooh.
later. We will be
That's
streaming
exciting.
that in the beta. I got to check out pre-alpha, and it was amazing. Checking that out at E3, so I can't wait to play it in the beta for you guys. You have a blue shell, MQ?
Yeah. So what I'm talking about is it's kind of a disappointment. It's not the biggest bluish shell, but it's still bombed. So it's Switch Online. I think you guys have talked about it before, but it's $20 for basically about the same experience that we got on the Wii U, which was garbage. And so it's they have a few like incentives, like the NES games that they release every month, I think. And so the release of these old games that they have given to us so many times, it doesn't seem to really like fix the problems that it has. So especially, so I've been playing a lot of Smash lately, and so that is a fantastic game. And whenever you want to play with people who aren't sitting right next to you, you have to go online.
Right.
And so, yeah, so and the fact that you're paying for it too is why you think it would be a little bit better than it was. But it's laggy. The system that Sakurai and the Smash team made for online, it's like it would work just fine, but it's just whenever you connect, they're just laggy, they're slow, and it just doesn't work as well as you think it should.
To be fair...
And so
sorry, go ahead.
yeah, you go ahead.
I was going to say, to be fair, I mean, it's technically better than it was in 4, and definitely better than it was in Brawl, right?
I mean, they are making steps in the
Not
right
that
direction.
those were good online experiences, far from it.
Yeah.
But,
The biggest problem I heard with Switch Online, outside of just the whole, I mean, yeah, we have the basic issues which you just touched on, MQ, in regards to what the problems are with Switch Online. But if we were just to talk about just Smash Online, I just want to be able to play with my rule set every time. Like, let's bring back For Glory and For Fun. Because not having that makes it really tough to find competitive play matches without
that was
items.
a weird decision.
You'll select 1v1 and you'll end up being in a 4-man free for all or 2v2, and I mean it's fun because it's Smash, but it's not the Smash I want to play online.
Yeah.
You know, so I agree with you there. And also I want to see more of these special offers that they were talking about. Like I know the only special offer they've done so
they
far.
promised those.
Right. The only special offer they've honestly mentioned was I think it was the NES controllers exclusive to members, but it's like even that. So.
Yeah, the Switch Online isn't bad, and I can't really talk too much because I don't own a Switch, but I have played on other people's Switches a lot. So I feel I can talk, and I've listened to a lot of people talk about it, so I at least feel like I can say, you know, it's only $20 a year.
Right.
It's a lot less than everybody else's. That doesn't excuse the fact that, I mean, Smash can't be laggy online. That's ridiculous that happens. But
Right.
Yeah, you can't play it.
that said, I mean, you get what you pay for.
Mm-hmm.
You're not paying a
Yeah.
lot, and
But really,
it functions.
this is a topic for another day.
I know that it used to be free, but
Right. Well, I understand why they need to do a paid service. I would rather them do a paid service and have servers that are dedicated to these games to help it be better. But the problem isn't necessarily so much with the servers or the connection. Smash is having issues with connection, but a lot of it just has to do with, I think, Smash's system and then the way they built it is the reason it's having it, or they're not dedicating enough servers. I mean, Smash as a whole was a huge game. It was the largest selling Switch game of all time, or Nintendo game of all time, and largest selling Switch game.
really over Zelda even.
Sorry, it's largest selling Smash Brothers today.
Oh, okay. I was gonna
Fastest
say.
selling Smash. I said
I think it
Nintendo
was
game. My
You mean
apologies.
4 times the
It
sale of the
It's the
Switch?
fastest selling Switch game, and they sold more Switch copies of this on Switch than any other Switch game currently.
I know this is
So
going
it's
to sound
beating Mario Odyssey and it's beating Zelda.
this is going to be sound bad, but I have not heard anything about Switch since the first time you brought it to church that one time.
Yeah.
I've not heard anything but
Oh, dude, it's getting massive.
it's getting massive. Well,
Hey, we're
They're-
going to talk about sales numbers later, right?
Not on this show, but we'll probably do that in the 2018 recap video.
Okay.
Playing.
Do you want to talk about units sold at least? I don't know what the numbers
So let me get the final figures here, and I can mention it.
I'm just talking about games overall because it seems like Nintendo's very greedy with their platform,
Yeah.
sticking to only games they want to develop, which I understand personally, but they don't like. They can make a whole lot of. It seems like the mobile platform could be really huge for like Call of Duty or Call of Duty Black Ops 4 or something. If I could take that with me across to school, when I'm studying, shoot, I'd play it at school, but they don't open it up really, and they don't improve on their network.
I could talk about that a little bit. So Nintendo's always had a really bad history with third parties. This is their best attempt at it, but yeah, they haven't really gotten
Their
big.
best, but they still failed.
The last time they got they're not failing. They just don't have any shooters. Is the main thing,
Yeah.
other than Doom.
Well, that's what sells.
They got Elder Scrolls on there.
I mean-
they got Skyrim. They got
Skyrim is like
Zelda.
Okay,
a generation
so
ago.
I can't tell you the
Ooh,
exact
you'd
number.
be surprised though.
Really?
Okay,
You'd be really surprised.
this is from Variety. I can't tell you the exact number of where they're at for their full fiscal year. Keep in mind, Nintendo's fiscal year goes basically April 1st to April 1st. So it goes March to March, March being their last month of the year, and April being the first one. And
April
so,
Fools.
with that being said, the Nintendo Switch has become the fastest selling game system of this hardware generation. The first 21 months of sales, Nintendo launched in March 2017 to November 2018. They sold 8.7 million units. Keep in mind that's before Smash. Okay, Super Smash Brothers is a huge game changer. There's so many people that just picked up a Switch just because Smash came out.
Yeah.
I named
It's a system seller for sure.
I named 3 or 4. Like my brother, for example, picked up a Switch just because Smash came out. A friend of mine who's not a huge gamer picked up a Switch because Smash Brothers came out. There's going to be a lot of people who just pick up a Switch to play Smash Brothers, and then they'll fall back in love with the other games that have come out, like Zelda, Mario Kart, and Odyssey. Like those Mario Odyssey, those games are going to be things that keep people playing, but Smash is what's bringing people to the console. So their goal was to be at 20 million by the end of their fiscal year. A lot of people said that they were probably going to fall short because they were in November. They were at 8.7 million units. Well,
Christmas.
NVDs and the reports for December had not come out yet. Typically, they come out in late January for December, so we haven't gotten all the numbers yet. But here's the numbers that we do know. Okay. About 1.2 million copies of the game, just Smash, were sold in Japan, and it took the top spot in UK sales on launch week. Nintendo, the US sales, by the way, were freaking ridiculous for Smash Brothers. Unbelievable numbers. Nintendo Switch eShop sales grew 105% over 2017.
Wow.
Their unit dollar sales or hardware unit dollar sales for 2018 are the highest annual totals since 2011 as a company. And there's so many things pointing to it. But they've announced that Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is the fastest selling Switch game, beating out Pokemon, Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, which total was 2 million units, and Super Mario Party 1.4 million units. Breath of the Wild up to date, current to date sales. Keep in mind they came out at launch for Zelda. Then Mario Kart 8 came out in April of that same year, and then Odyssey came out that October or September. 4 million units for Breath of the Wild and for Mario Kart, 4 million for Zelda, 5 million for Mario Kart, 4.7 for Super Mario Odyssey, and it's beaten all of those
Wow.
already.
It's quite a bit.
And so that's just what they've been able to kind of pull together so far. Just in the U.S. alone, it sold 3 million copies in 11 days.
Oh, that's very fast. But
Just Smash in the U.S. alone, 3 million copies.
yeah.
That's not now. If that can put into perspective, hardware sales too around the same time. Like, I think they will hit that 20 million mark by March, but we'll see. So I don't know. We'll talk more speculation on that. But right now, we're gonna go into our first major topic, so we can keep this train rolling. 1 second. Anybody have anything else to add?
On that, I mean, basically just that. Oh, what was the original topic there? Sorry.
We were talking about Nintendo Switch Online.
Switch Online, yes. So, Switch new console. They have to have a paid online. It's annoying, but it's only $20 a year. I don't know, man. I'm probably only going to use it for Pokemon, so I don't. It doesn't affect me too much.
Look.
About $300 system just for Pokemon.
To close out Nintendo
Well,
Switch Online,
$20 a year, and then additional $5 you also have to pay if you like Pokemon because they have their own service.
yeah. Well, not yet. They don't have Pokemon Bank integration with Let's Go.
Well, no, not with Let's Go, with Gen 8.
Well, yeah, but that doesn't matter yet. We'll see.
That's what I'm talking about.
We'll see.
though. Like,
Okay,
I don't
so
know.
again, this is to close out Nintendo Switch Online. If you want to appease fans, add a little bit more to the retro service. I feel like you can add Super Nintendo games.
Yeah,
a lot of people
add
want
SNES
64.
Games. That's all you need.
We want. I mean, they said they're going to bring SNES games.
If they did 64, that would change
but
everything
yeah,
for
if
sure.
they did 64 GameCube games, it's game over. Like
Stop-
Nintendo
stop,
Switch Online would be probably in a lot more people's good graces. I don't mind the Nintendo Switch app, but I would like to be able to have more integration with the actual system itself. Have native chat, please. Let me plug in a headset
Yeah.
onto my Switch.
Well, maybe with the new hardware version they'll have that.
We won't get into the new hardware version because it's all speculative right now, and people don't know if they're going to do a full-on hardware revision.
That's what
if
I'm
it
saying,
will,
maybe.
if it will be like a pro version, just a step like a hey, we just improved, but it's the same thing.
Will it be a PS4 Pro? Will it be a PSP 3000? Will it be a DS Lite?
Yeah,
Will it be a Game Boy Advance SP?
Yeah.
We don't know.
we don't know what kind of revision we're going to look at, or maybe it's a mini.
Ooh. Oh, can you imagine?
A lot of people are.
It's already so small, though.
Well, when I say mini, maybe they just have they have Joy-Cons just attached, like they're not detachable. It's meant.
Oh,
only
you
for
mean like
handheld.
like the 2DS? How it was
Yeah.
just a flat brick?
Right, they could do something like that where it's just
Like a
a
budget
flat
version.
system. Joy-Cons are kind
Oh
of
no,
attached
that's
in.
that's not what I want. I want a nicer version.
We'll see. We'll see. But that's for a topic for another time. Right now, we're going to get into our next thing, which is video game film. Now, as
Oh,
you know,
God.
video games as films does not do very well.
It's terrible.
In exclusion to Wreck-It Ralph.
Mortal Kombat.
Hey, Wreck-It Ralph is not really a game though.
It's not a real game.
It's
you're
a-
right,
it's
but
a
about
play-
video
it's a
games. Does that
play.
count?
No, it's a play. It's play on games. Mortal Kombat sucked. No,
What are you
Luke-
talking about? That movie was awesome. I watched it. Actually, last time I watched it was like 3 years ago, but it was still good.
Yeah.
But now, we've gotten some news that I know Blake is super excited about.
God. Yes. Yes.
Sonic
Yes.
the Hedgehog is going to
Yes.
be a movie.
Oh my God! It looks like it's going to be an absolute train wreck. I can't wait to watch it.
Oh, it looks like it's going to be. No. The cartoons are terrible.
So
What? No,
it's not a cartoon,
actually-
it's live action.
Well, except for
Yeah,
Live
that's-
action's ruining retro films.
I'm not sure what do you mean by that in this context.
Have you seen any of the live action Disney movies?
Oh, that's fair. This is actually going to be like that, but I. Okay, so here's the thing.
No, there is no thing.
No,
I'm
let me
sorry.
tell you.
Go ahead.
Jim
Go ahead.
Carrey's in it as a person, as Dr. Eggman.
Oh.
Jim Carrey.
See, that's going to be
Wait,
hard
Jim
for me to
Carrey is
stomach.
Dr. Eggman?
Jim
That's going to
Carrey
be
is
hard for me to
Dr. Eggman.
stomach,
That's
man.
the rumor.
But he's-
We haven't had this confirmed.
No, it is confirmed.
Eggman's fat.
God.
That's
Eggman's
a casting,
fat.
release.
Eggman is fat.
I'll just put fat layers on. He's not going to be CGI. The rumor is he's not going to be CGI. He's going to just be makeup.
Just makeup.
And all the Sonic critters are going to be in CGI.
It's going to be hard.
But here's the
so it's
thing:
gonna be a
Sonic
blend. It's
doesn't
gonna be
even look like
hilarious.
a hedgehog, well, he never really looked like a hedgehog.
Yeah,
but he
let's
doesn't look
take
like Sonic the
let's
Hedgehog.
take a look at this thing.
I mean, I can see
So,
the
I
outline
have
on the
it
screen
posted.
right there. It looks good.
So he's got a big old bulgy head, but he's got big old ripped arms, and you can see his calves and individual fingers. He's not wearing gloves.
His arms
Sonic's has
and
never been
legs
ripped
Make him
or-
look like
Yeah, no,
Usain
he hasn't.
Bolt.
It
He
looks-
looks like Usain Bolt with a hedgehog head.
no, he doesn't.
Apparently, people at
He looks like a buff hairy thumb.
So this
with
poster
feet.
looks awful, but
This graphic's awful. Like, there's multiple graphics that are not that
That
great.
is the graphic that they've released.
I was listening to people talk about it today. and
Okay,
they were
I'll let you
saying-
speak. I'll let you speak. Sorry for cutting you off so much.
That's fine. So I was listening to some people talk about it today. Actually, luckily.
Who's voicing
And,
Sonic?
oh God, who is voicing Sonic? I'm trying to remember. Is it? I know he's a guy who's worked with Sonic before. They actually made the casting call. I don't remember his name, but I do remember that they were talking about. They had a sneak peek at Comic-Con. They're under, I guess, NDA or something. They can't talk about it too much. But there's been sketches and stuff, and people are like, the model's not that bad as it looks there. But still, I mean, we can still speculate. It looks pretty bad as is.
But right before we heard about the Sonic the Hedgehog movie, we got something that I'm actually excited about.
What?
Detective Pikachu.
That
It's
is
going to
true.
be
We
Green
did
Lantern
that right.
2.0.
That
I'm,
was
I'm really, really excited about this. Why are you hating on this so much?
Blue
Dr.
shell,
Quinn?
blue shell. Blue shell, blue shell. I just learned what those mean today. Blue shell, blue shell.
Do you not like Mr. Mime? Is that it?
There's only, dude.
Oh my gosh, Mr.
Or
Mime.
Jigglypuff. Jigglypuff's
Jigglypuff.
scary
Yeah.
AF.
Seriously.
I've watched the previews once. It looks interesting, but he's the only kid that can see the talking Pikachu.
No, everybody can see the talking Pikachu. He's the only one who can hear it.
Okay, he has split borderline personality disorder.
Yeah, he might be insane.
Borderline split personality disorder.
We already got a fan theory going, you guys.
What's a fan theory?
A fan
What you
theory
just
is
said.
Exactly
Oh yeah,
that.
he's the only man that can see a talking Pikachu with a hat.
Yeah, man.
It does look interesting. It just
Pika.
I don't know. I just don't see Pikachu being as random as Ryan Reynolds' comedic lines.
Can we just stop for a quick moment? Can we admire this?
Jigglypuff looks nasty in this. Man.
Jigglypuff looks like a freak.
She looks like an angry prostitute.
Looks like a freak,
Wow.
man. Like, I don't know, man. Look at these eyes. I don't know.
I do feel like they like really stylized it in a way, so it's like it kind of looks like Pokemon, but they also kind of look like, I mean, like a lot of people have said, just real kind of creepy. It's like, whoa, it's like that did not
And then
come over to
Mr.
real life
Mime.
real well.
And then Mr. Mime.
That was kind of the point. that
Oh,
I was
yeah.
going for. If you ever, before the trailer
I've seen
came out, they
that
talked
part in the
about-
trailer is pretty funny. Mr. Mime, that part in the trailer.
Yeah, they talked about how the guy they got to do the concept art for the film was also a deviant artist who, or a DA guy who did drawings of
Drawings.
realistic Pokemon. Yeah, drawings.
Look,
Drawings.
I made
That's
a
what-
drawing.
Drawings.
Yeah, drawing of a realistic Pokemon. What are you guys
Drawings.
sticking on that?
Because it's so. You say
Drawer.
drawing.
Can you open up the drawings, please?
No,
It has a
drawing.
W in it.
Hey,
You guys
if we,
not pronounce
if we
the
want to talk
W?
like where we from, we just say, y'all want to open up that drawing there?
You ain't gonna tell me how to speak,
Or
boy.
we can try to.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna tell me how to speak. I say drawing.
We can,
I'll
we, can
say
talk like, we can
drawings.
talk like properly.
This
like,
Charizard looks not too
proper
bad.
Blake from Great Britain and go, could I take a look
the
at that
guy-
drawing?
Drawing, please.
Drawing.
But yeah, if you look at the deviant art of the guy who did the concept art for this film,
Look at
it's
that-
like,
look at that Charizard.
Okay, yeah, this is actually less creepy
that
than the art
Charizard's
was.
epic.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
well, it's
hate
almost
it.
like
So,
I watched that new Pokemon movie where Ash Ketchum. It basically rehashes like 55% of the old Pokemon cartoon. He catches.
what are these? What are these things?
Oh,
Zoom
by the
in.
way,
Which ones?
Can you zoom in?
I have the voice actor for Sonic here. It's Ben Schwartz.
Who the hell is Ben Schwartz?
Let's see. He was in. Oh,
It's Arnold's brother.
He was in Parks and Rec, and he had a couple of lines in Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
No way.
Yep,
This guy is playing Sonic the Hedgehog.
that's right. That guy.
He looked like, what's that movie with
Oh, yeah,
Mr. Bean?
he's
He
in
looks
the,
like Mr. Bean's son.
He's in the most recent Ninja Turtles cartoon.
He is?
Yeah,
I haven't seen the new Ninja Turtles cartoon.
I haven't either, but I know he's in it, and that's what I heard people talk about today.
Michael Bay directed.
Oh, oh no.
He uses the same robot sounds in every movie.
Oh, did he use robot sounds in
Pacific Rim.
I'm not gonna go back and check. Wait, Pacific Rim
All
was
right.
done by a different
On a
guy.
scale of 1 to 10, you saw the trailer for
Blue Shell.
Detective Pikachu. How excited are you? Scale of 1 to 10.
Blue Shell. Blue Shell.
Okay,
We're
we
looking
know
at-
how Dr. Quinn feels. How do you guys feel?
Okay.
MQ, stick with me, MQ.
Okay. So, with like whenever I first saw it, I was like, "What the heck? Like, what is this?" And so, I mean, I feel like a lot of people were just kind of like, "What?" But watching it a few times again, like the Pokemon don't look as scary. It's like they look a lot better and stuff. So say like my first reaction was like a solid like I can't put it on the scale of like how excited I was for the movie because I wasn't thinking about the movie. I was thinking about
Right.
what. But so whenever I've watched it a few times, I'd say a solid like 8 is where I'm at. I really want to see this movie for sure.
What?
Yeah, I would say 8 for me as well.
Interest
really
or
good.
like...
Yeah. Interest, excitement, hype.
Like you said, it's appealing.
Dude, look at this. It's so freaking adorable. My kid will love
It looks
this
like an
movie, and I
angsty
will love
version. It
too,
looks like an
because I will
angsty
feel
version
the
of
nostalgia.
Pokemon.
I will feel it.
If
Man,
you
look at this.
showed
Look how
me-
cute he is. He is
I know.
adorable.
It's
If
going to
you
be
showed me
grim.
the trailer without any sort of context, I probably would have given like a 6. I would have thought, oh, there's no way this is actually
Because
gonna
it's
be good.
playing on nostalgia.
Well, I mean, it's more than that, but because now that I got a lot of context for the trailer before I watched it, and I've got a lot of context now, and knowing who's working on the film and what all is going into it, and how it seems like it's an actual passion project, and it seems like a weird film with weird ideas.
It's
You know,
either
I'm
gonna
gonna go
bomb
with
or
a
it's going to do
9.
really good. It's either going to bomb or it's going to be really good.
I don't know. I don't think it'll bomb. Actually, I think it'll probably be really successful. Just
In
because
Japan.
it's a Pokemon movie.
In Japan.
No, in the U.S.
People are going to go see it because it's Pikachu.
Yeah, people in the U.S. are gonna go see it because it's Pikachu. Exactly. Oh, and Ryan Reynolds is Pikachu. There's that too.
That's a big point. Yeah, for sure. Ryan Reynolds is gonna do awesome. I feel
Ryan
like.
Reynolds wasn't great before until Deadpool, so I don't know how I feel about Ryan Reynolds putting his potty mouth on my favorite creature from my childhood.
It's probably not gonna be more than PG though. The film, even though it looks kind
Yeah.
of dark.
I don't know. It could be good. We'll see.
Blue Shell.
All right.
Watch it happen, man.
Okay, and the last video game movie we want to talk about right now is the Mario movie.
We know less
It's
about the
me,
Mario. movie.
Mario!
We know less about
Illumination
the-
Entertainment is what we know.
Yeah.
That's
and it's
it.
set to come out in 2020.
Yep. It's a 2020 film. We don't know anything else about it. We don't have art. We don't know. We might know casting. I'm gonna go look it up.
I feel like there's a few ones where it's just like the Mario, and it's just like him smiling. It's like there's a Mario movie, and I mean he looks real good, like so far, like from that one picture.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. So and so it's like it could be good.
They can't,
It
they
could,
can't
but it's
screw up
like,
the
it's
animation.
illumination.
Yeah.
Is it going to
Yeah.
be live action, too?
No, it's animated.
Okay.
Yeah.
By
so it's-
Illumination is probably going to do... I think Illumination will do good with animation.
Visually, I think they're great. Now, what story they decide to tell, that's beyond us. Like we don't
Yeah.
know what that looks like.
Okay.
But we'll find out, I'm sure,
Like the game.
in the
Just
very
rescue,
near future. We're gonna find out what that looks like.
Rescue
and-
Princess Peach.
Hopefully it turns
I've
out.
looked at a little bit of information on IMDb. We really don't know anything. Writing credits are going to Shigeru Miyamoto at this point, which doesn't... I don't know if he's going to actually be that involved with the film. Production goes to Christopher Melodrani, which is...
Right. But think about what they've produced lately. The Grinch was not a bad remake on the film.
Blue Sky. Yeah.
They did Secret Life of Pets,
Illumination.
which is pretty solid. They've done
No.
Sing, which a lot of people like, except Dr. Quinn for whatever reason.
Such a long, terrible movie.
I really like Sing.
But Illumination is known to producing quality storylines. Despicable Me,
Ooh, I wouldn't say
honestly,
that.
the Despicable Me movies, not the Minions movie, but the Despicable Me movies are super solid.
On a scale of 1 to 10,
Yeah.
Despicable Me 1 is
The
really
OG.
great. Is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Despicable
I agree.
Me 2, it starts going down the toilet, and then 3 is just like in there with the
There's a
My
turds.
third
kid loves
one?
it. That's all I can say.
Your,
But
your kid.
yeah,
not
I
you.
know but that's who it's
Okay.
catered for, right? They're not making a Mario movie
Exactly.
for us.
For sure.
They're making a Mario
I don't care.
movie.
I'm picking
for
I'm picking it
children.
apart.
Despite the fact that I'm already biased against Despicable Me because it took a spotlight away from the actual good supervillain movie that came out that year,
What was-
Megamind.
Right.
Megamind was really good.
Megamind.
Wait, who was that by?
That
That was
Sony?
DreamWorks.
That
That's
was
DreamWorks?
DreamWorks,
Because
and
DreamWorks
it
is-
had who's the Sherlock guy? Oh, dang it, I don't remember.
Had Will Ferrell in it.
Yeah, Will
Holmes.
Ferrell. Yeah, it had Will Ferrell in it. It was a really
Benedict
good movie.
Cumberbatch.
And no,
Sherlock?
not he wasn't in there. No, I meant I was
Oh, you're
referring
talking
to the
about-
most
okay.
recent movie.
All I
Okay.
can say is
The one
this,
he's gonna be remembered by now.
is that we shouldn't have to worry about this Mario movie for a while. But guys, let's
no,
think
but I was
back
still-
to the greatest Mario movie of all time, the 1993 best movie ever of all time.
People
I've
hated.
never
Are you
watched
talking
The
about that?
1993 Mario movie, which literally
It's a fantastic movie.
Yeah, I've never watched it, but I've watched people watch it. And
I've watched reactions of people watching.
well,
Super
no,
Mario
I've
Brothers.
sat down and watched like 40-minute videos of people being like, "So this is." the
Let me
movie."
show you how good this game is.
And-
Everyone watching at home.
Here's the thing: I still don't feel like I understand the movie. I think if I watched the movie, I still wouldn't understand it.
There's your score,
Why
ladies and
is it-
gentlemen.
Oh, okay, never mind. I thought that was a
Out of
4 out of
4 out
5.
of 10.
And 44,000 people have made it 4 out of 10.
Dude, how can you say no to this? Look at the Koopas, man. Look at them Koopas.
It looks like low key futuristic, or steampunk's already futuristic
Yeah.
kind
That was like the thing at the time. It was like
of.
everybody went out and saw Blade Runner, and they're like, "Let's make our movie look like Blade Runner, even if it doesn't make sense to make your movie look."
I remember
like
when
Blade
I was a
Runner."
kid, I really loved that movie. I liked it. I liked watching it. It was interesting as
I
a
watched
kid.
it as a kid and I couldn't even keep my attention, so.
I have already said that I haven't seen it.
Is that John Leguizamo?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
What the fork?
Look at that.
Bob Hoskins,
I
Dennis
mean,
Hopper.
all-star cast right there.
Yeah, no,
But
they were expecting
The
a
good
blockbuster.
news, ladies and gentlemen, is when it comes
low
to the
key
future
looks
Mario
like
movie
Mario
from
has like
Illumination
a
Entertainment, you don't have to worry
taupe.
about it being like that.
Let me talk about Illumination for a second, though.
We gotta wrap it up. We gotta keep going.
Oh God, I want to talk about Illumination.
Okay, well, we'll get to it.
In another
We're not
show.
gonna-
Go
we're not
ahead,
gonna
spit
get
it
to
out real quick.
Next
Okay,
bi-monthly
fine.
episode.
I'm worried about the Mario movie, not because I think it will be bad, but I think it'll be safe and boring, because that is what Illumination typically makes
Yeah,
is safe
yeah.
and
Exactly. That's why the stories aren't great.
boring. See, the stated...
They definitely did that with the Grinch.
They
It's
did it
way
with the
too
Grinch,
safe.
but they also did it with The Secret Life of Pets, and they've done it with a lot of their other projects. Despicable Me 2
Yeah.
is a good example.
Mediocrity.
Minions was just like cashing in. I can't blame them for that one, but it happened.
Kids love those banana eating,
Yeah, that's-
loving things.
And 40-year-old or older women on Facebook.
That's such a specific demographic to mention.
It's like, well, it's true, and you go down.
Such a specific demographic.
But yeah, they're gonna make the whole stated purpose of the company is not to make good films; it's to make films cheaply, as cheaply as possible. So the reason Nintendo picked them is because they're like, oh, we can make this movie for 70 million or 7 million, whatever movies are or whatever.
That's Illuminations. That's Illuminations.
They're usually half the budget or less than their competitors.
Okay, let me ask you this: what comes out first, the Universal Super Mario theme park or the movie? Because they are making the theme park right now.
The theme park will probably come out first.
You think the movie will come out?
Oh, okay.
No, the theme park's been in the work for like 4 or 5 years, right? Like, or no, I'm thinking of the Universal Studios thing they had.
That's what we're talking about.
Oh, well, yeah, that's going to get done before the movie comes out. Or by the time it comes out, yeah. They're going to want them to line up together, for sure.
It's opening in Japan first and then coming here.
But, yeah, I think the park will be finished first, then the movie.
It's probably true. All right, well, we got to move on to the next topic, but this one should hopefully be a pretty short one, but it is very interesting. And I am going to get a little bit of help here as well. So, GameStop announced earlier this year that they were looking to possibly be bought, and they were reaching out to potential buyers. Basically, just to try to see if they could snag anyone who'd be interested. And obviously, they've had their struggles, they've had their issues, but coming up on the end of their fiscal year, because their fiscal year ends in January, it looks like they have 2 people bidding to purchase. This comes from GameIndustry.biz. Buyers circle GameStop as retailer continues to struggle. Private equity firms Apollo Global Management and Sycamore Partners are reportedly bidding to acquire GameStop. That's according to the Wall Street Journal, which has said this deal could be closed by mid-February. Speculation abounds that Sycamore Partners could be looking to buy the ailing retailer, but when the deal failed to materialize in August last year, its share price took a 9.9% hit. And then he goes on to talk a little bit more about the current fiscal state of GameStop. But what I will say is this. With GameStop, looking to be purchased, do you guys know who Apollo Global Management and Sycamore Partners is?
Nope.
Okay, I'm going to enlighten you guys. So, are you ready? You ready to be enlightened?
One-sided question.
So, Sycamore.
Some of that info.
Let's start with Sycamore Partners.
I'm pretty sure.
Sycamore Partners is the company that owns Staples.
Wait, what?
Like Staples?
You mean
like Staples, like Office Max competitor Staples.
Oh, wait, what?
Sycamore Partners owns Staples.
Oh, well, they're probably just going to treat it like another brand under their umbrella, but
yeah.
But
here's the thing.
that's less exciting. That's
the
not what
buck doesn't
GameStop
stop
needs.
there with Sycamore Partners. They also own, get this, tell me how these two combine. Sycamore Partners, the owner of Staples, also owns Hot Topic.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
No, I see where they're
GameStop
going.
and Hot Topic work well together for sure.
They definitely do. But I just think it's funny that Staples and Hot Topic are owned by the same
Pop
people. I think
culture.
that's hilarious.
Pop culture.
I also think that because
if
Hollister, I think, also owns Hot Topic, or they're also owned by Sycamore Partners. So Sycamore Partners is a pretty large firm. They own a lot of companies, and so I think that's super interesting.
If they bought it, then ThinkGeek is pretty much dead because it competes with Hot Topic.
ThinkGeek's not dead.
Well, it would be.
No, they would expand. That I think the interest of Hot Topic is, you have to think Hot Topic competes against Box Lunch, right? They're not owned the same way.
Box who?
Box Lunch, the store Box Lunch.
Oh, I've never been there.
Oh, okay. Well,
It's also like 2007 emo goth counterculture.
So,
Counterculture.
Sycamore Partners owns Dollar Express, Hot Topic, Staples, Torrid, Talbots. Those are their investments currently. So they'd be investing into GameStop. But with Hot Topic and ThinkGeek, imagine the crossover there. Like there's a lot of stuff that each of those stores could sell from the other. And I think that is their interest. And the games is just a bonus. Because after all, if you walk into your local neighborhood GameStop today, you're not walking in there most of the time and seeing exclusively video games. It's like 60%, 70% non-video
Garbage.
game
I mean,
stuff.
knickknacks.
Yeah.
Or as they call it, loot.
Yeah. They also sell phone stuff.
No, not anymore.
Oh.
They branched away from phones.
I
They
thought
sold
I
their shares.
saw it last time I was in there.
Yeah.
I'll double check.
Maybe. I heard they sold their shares, but I might be wrong. But regardless, is GameStop. It's an interesting investment, but you could definitely see them making sense of it. Now, the other partner, Apollo Management Group. You guys want to guess what they own?
Moons.
The Earth.
Um,
Pluto.
oh, that's a good one.
Jaden's extra pair of jeans.
So Apollo
My
Management
left
Group.
sock that disappeared in the dryer.
Nice. No, I'll answer this for you. Apollo Management Group owns Dropbox, or not Dropbox. That would be amazing.
Dropbox is its own
Dropbox owns
company.
Dropbox. No,
Wow.
Apollo Management Group owns none other than Redbox.
And Redbox
Better
will
fit.
purchase GameStop.
Uh,
How would it be a better
wait.
fit?
well, it makes more sense as a company, and then they can put red boxes in all of the GameStops too.
So you have to
Yeah.
think about it.
Yeah.
If Redbox integrates with GameStop, okay, you have to think they integrated game rentals in for a while.
Yeah.
But what if we told you that you could start renting games with a Redbox membership at any GameStop location? They have now. Keep in mind, GameStop currently does video game rentals exclusively to their employees.
Yeah.
You may not know this, but if you work at a GameStop, you get to rent new or used games. That's right. Your new game may or may not be new.
I think that might depend on stores. When I worked there, it
But
was
it's
only
true.
used. But yeah.
They do that now.
Blockbuster did that.
You
so-
look at some of the
Yeah, but
competitors of
that's-
GameStop.
They actually rent things
Vintage
in
Stock is one of the largest competitors in the Midwest
Uh-huh.
to GameStop. And one of the things
Well,
that they've done for years is video game rentals on their new or used products.
general. I didn't know that.
They do video game rentals, and you think about this, Redbox could integrate that into. They could easily integrate that into their system somehow with GameStop purchases. But here's the thing, though. What I feel Redbox isn't seeing, okay? What I feel Redbox is not catching on to here is that games are going digital. So how long do you really have physical game sales to live by?
Here's the thing, Jaden. People have said that for the last 15 years.
You're right. It has changed immensely in the past 2.
Well, I wouldn't say that.
Go look up the facts on it. We won't debate on it, but I promise you that there's rumors right now that the next generation of Xbox, they're going to offer an option that'll be cheaper without a disc drive altogether.
Sure, that's fine. Again, the problem with that is always going to be infrastructure, and we're still not at a point where it would make sense to go fully online downloadable for a pretty significant portion of people.
Right.
If I still owned it,
But
and then
they're
you gotta-
also moving to streaming platforms too. Not even just downloading, but streaming video
which
games.
is dumb, but
No, it's not.
it's never worked. It's never
Have
ever
you seen
worked.
Google do their streaming?
What are you talking about?
Google and AMD have partnered together to do video game streaming through a Google platform. It's a Google run platform, runs on AMD graphics cards and GPUs, and it runs flawlessly, 60 frames per second, 1080p.
That's amazing, and
No
I
buffering.
don't believe you because
I will show you after this podcast.
because
I will show you after this podcast.
do you have it like installed
I have a
on
video
your
of it.
computer? A video is not going to prove anything.
Oh, there are people who have run it and purchased it. Spawnwave, excellent content creator as well over on YouTube. Spawnwave even picked up a copy of it digitally and ran it that way. You can, believe it or not, I don't know if you know this, but Assassin's Creed Odyssey is available on Switch in Japan using that same service.
Yeah, I believe
It
it.
streams exclusively via cloud and it's flawless.
Well,
And that's
If
why,
you have good internet, right?
Here's
right?
the
Yeah,
thing.
it's all
This-
everything hinders down to your internet. Of
this
course.
sounds a lot like what people were saying about the whole PlayStation streaming service, which turned out to not be super
But
great
they,
for a lot of people.
I think PlayStation had the right idea. They just were a couple of years too early, like they usually are, where they come in too early and they don't have the right hardware, and then they fail.
I also just don't want streaming games. I want to own the game.
But that's
I know I'm
kind
a
of what we're
minority.
moving. I'm not saying what you want is wrong. I'm saying the reality is people are moving away from physically owned games.
Some people are, not everybody. Like if I owned a Switch, I'd still go to GameStop and buy physical.
Probably.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying
Or if I
everybody
owned a
has to buy
PS4.
digital. I'm just saying majority of sales are moving away from it. And I think with not so much with Nintendo Switch, but definitely with the next generation of Xbox and PlayStation, we're going to see a lot more digital sales because we're already seeing that huge trend. The digital sales are unbelievable right now in terms of video games.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I think a lot of that can be attributed to just the fact that, aside from the fact that people have more reliable internet, you also have the growth of the PC market. So that also influences it quite a bit. And PC hasn't been physical since like 1998. So really, it can only get more digital, but I don't think it'll ever be completely there. And I don't think the consumer base. Look, let me talk about something that seems unrelated at first, but it'll make sense here in a second. So
Okay.
back in what was it, 2005, 2006, when the Xbox One. Well, no, sorry, that would have been 2011, right? Xbox One launches, right? And they said they weren't going to be. Oh wait,
We
no.
don't have to go into all that because that is not relative to.
It is relevant. I'm telling you why. Sorry, no, it is 2006. Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 launch. PlayStation 3 does not have all of their systems backwards compatible except for one of them. Xbox 360 is backwards compatible with all of its games. Xbox 360 outsells the PS3. That's one of the factors. What they found is that despite the fact, but the data shows that less than 2% of people use the backwards compatibility feature on an Xbox 360. But it accounted for something like 20% of sales. That's the same thing here. If we move away from physical,
And that's increased even further, by the way.
yeah,
The
if,
amount of that's why still to this day Sony isn't doing backwards compatible, but you see Xbox reaching new and new heights with it.
yeah,
And Xbox announced their new cloud service, their cloud streaming service, which is going to be coming out here pretty soon. And so
right.
I don't think it's going away, whether we like it or not.
But yeah, that's my point. It's not going to go away. GameStop will become more niche. They'll probably have to expand into other markets. But
I
don't
think their answer is
physical
they
will
need to
ever
open
go
up the
away.
retro games market.
That is true.
They've been buying retro games for a while. I don't think they're getting enough purchased in, but they definitely need to start selling some on their shelves. That's what I think needs to happen.
So you just want them to go like full on into the business model that Vintage Stock has.
I think that's exactly what they should do because if you look at the difference,
Yeah, probably.
they can leave out the DVDs and music, but everything that Vintage Stock is doing is successful. You don't see them closing down stores.
No, you see
You
them
see them having
expanding.
sales all the time, and you see them expanding and opening new stores. And I think they're doing something right. In games, they also buy back at a different and better rate, in my opinion. GameStop has its deals. There are moments where they buy back at a great rate and they sell at a really low price, but the truth is that Vintage Stock beats them a lot of times, and that's why we're seeing that happening. Like we're losing GameStop stores. They're closing down stores and having to figuring it out. But as of right now, we know things are moving toward the market for game streaming. So the question with this is, why is Redbox interested? And my only speculation is it's more games out of their library, or they can purchase GameStop and add a rental service into their stores.
They can also have exclusivity. Remember, GameStop is a publisher, and you
true.
can have games available exclusively through
Or
Redbox with that.
maybe they're going to create vending machines that you can actually purchase video games. Like you can purchase from Redbox now, a used game. So maybe they just start doing that. That's a new platform for people.
Well, they wouldn't need to buy GameStop to do that, but yeah.
But they could
something.
do a whole lot more with the buying power of GameStop, I feel like. But yeah, Phil Spencer, he announced that that Xbox is doing a cloud service at E3 this year. Project X Cloud is what they're working on right now. And it'll be a cloud streaming service that you can play all the modern games that you're playing right now. And you can play it on any device. Lagless.
No,
The technology is there.
no, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Well, okay. So I feel like in this streaming games, it's like that sounds fantastic, but you would need to have great internet to keep streaming it the whole time.
Which is
and
why
stuff.
it
And
wouldn't
so
cater to
it's played somewhere
it wouldn't
else.
cater to people living outside of large metropolitan areas. I will totally give you
Yeah.
that. But think about it. A large majority of the population does live in a metropolitan area. They don't have to cater to everybody. They're not going to lose that many sales by cutting off people out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
So, and they will still have a solution for those people for some time. But I don't know. There are so many times in, like, look at Gateway Computers and several other companies, Blockbuster, and they didn't think they were going anywhere and things weren't changing, and everyone will be centered around the VHS, or everyone's gonna be centered around the DVD for a while, and things start to change and evolve and like business as a whole is changing, and there's a digital transformation happening within IT and technology, and it's starting to surpass the technology that we even have in the medical field, like as far as the full expansion, like the growth rate is what I'm saying, because they say the knowledge of what you have to know is irrelevant after 3 years. After 3 years in the medical field, everything that you know is basically irrelevant, because if you haven't updated your knowledge base, you're speaking to old terminology and old solutions. And now technology is surpassing that rate. It's like 2 years. They're always coming out with a new IT solution, a new hardware chipset, new something. And GPUs are leading the way with that, with 2x percentage performance over CPUs. Some even seeing 65x 65x performance over CPUs.
Sure, but GPUs don't really have anything to do with that. Also,
GPUs have everything to do with game streaming, because they run the entire compute. All of VDI, all virtual desktop infrastructure, runs through GPUs.
Technically, if I wanted to, there's programs that would let me do remote streaming from my desktop right now on yours.
Sure.
And I'd be able to run it from there.
That's called a remote desktop.
Yeah.
And it is powered most efficiently through a GPU.
Sure, that's fine. And it's powered through my GPU, which is just a normal, regular consumer level, mid-range GPU.
Right.
But
imagine what they could do with
it's not going to increase the speed that the game plays over streaming, and it's not.
You're only as fast as the pipe that it is delivered, and
it's
by
not gonna,
fast as pipe, I mean as large as the pipe, because it's not a matter of how fast the network speed is; it's a matter of how much network traffic can travel through it.
And
that's what MQ is saying. He's saying internet speeds really matter, and that's why I said
they matter more than the GPU does for sure.
Well, eventually, I mean, people won't even have to have GPUs like in their computer.
And that's where internet's taking off too. Like 5G is like 50 gig.
I don't think that's true though. I think we will always
not
need
GPUs. You'd still have a CPU for sure for like to still work on stuff, but for gaming, that's what GPUs are normally used for. Like that, those will be streamed on some other computer that are running real hard, heavy GPUs.
I see what you're saying. I don't
that's the idea.
think that's going to be the future we're going to see. As nice as it would be to go that way, part of the problem is just the fact that our internet infrastructure, aside from the fact that it's slower, it's also too far spread out. And that means we're going to have things like input lag, which is bad for games.
But it's
so
getting
if
smaller.
you're talking to a server,
the footprint's getting larger, and the gap in between the white space is getting much smaller.
That depends where the servers are placed, though. You can say cloud all you want, but if the cloud server that you're talking to is in Seattle, you're going to have input lag.
But the thing is, data centers are sprung up everywhere.
Yeah, but
so your data centers like Amazon, they have locations all over. They're not just in Seattle; they're everywhere.
That depends on the product, and that depends on where they have the software loaded. The cloud is a buzz term.
You don't need to talk to me about the cloud. I work in IT data center infrastructure. I know what it is.
Yeah,
I sell it every day.
So you know that things have to be in a physical location, and the
I know it's a
software
physical,
has to
it's
be at the
physical hardware that
location.
people are renting, either doing software as a service or hardware as a service, and they're storing it in another environment.
Yeah, and so
and
if
they're
your
using its
information
resources.
is stored in Seattle with this game service, then you're gonna
Yeah,
have
it's stored in Seattle or LA or Dallas or wherever it may be in a server, and it's spinning up over network. Which, by the way, the data center traffic is 100 gig pipeline out. 100 gig pipe out of the data center. Currently, they're looking at 200 gig advancements in technology for data center network traffic.
It gets spread out smaller over the longer distance.
You're right. Over longer distances, eventually it breaks down and it moves off of fiber optic cables and moves off of fiber channel platforms and InfiniBand platforms, and eventually will branch out to RJ45 copper in some places, and even if some people are lucky enough, fiber optic through whatever internet viewer. But the thing is, you're starting to see 1 gig internet finally hit the market in most metropolitan areas. But you don't need 1 gig to stream flawlessly. You can stream flawlessly right now at even 100 meg traffic.
Sure.
So, and a lot of people are about to have the capability to run 100 meg everywhere. So it doesn't matter where you are. Now, sure, there will be regions like satellite regions. People don't have ISPs available that will struggle, and this won't be an option for them. But that's what we've mentioned. We've already gone full circle on this.
I would say that as like, it may not be as soon as like some people want. It may be, or even if it is, it'll be in certain areas like you're saying, where it's only like at the spots where there are plenty of internet, stuff like that. But I mean, it is definitely a possibility, even if it's not like right away, that streaming is coming in. I'm not saying that I don't think that physical games are going to be going out real soon, but like at some point, yes, like it'll be all streaming and all.
I think
Maybe, yeah, that's maybe for sure.
I think there's a possibility it can, but the infrastructure, because streaming games is levels of magnitude more difficult than streaming video is. That's why they've had so much problem with it, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that you have direct interaction with the player. You don't have to worry about the limitations of things like the speed of light when you're streaming video, because that doesn't really matter too much. It does matter when you're doing video games. That's what causes input lag, is if the server's too far away. There's literal physical limitations that prevent you from being played. So what they would have to do is they'd have to build these huge gaming server farms specifically, very close to.
But that's the thing, though,
every
is
population center that's going to be playing
a streaming service wouldn't have to be like it can be downloaded to some extent too.
But
like,
then
for
you
example,
would need GPUs.
No,
and
you would.
Things like
No,
that.
you would. You would still use GPUs.
So then,
because, like, for example, like if you're streaming a video game consistently, this is the way that certain workloads work in IT.
But
is
then
that if you're using a workload consistently, your software, whatever you're running software-wise, will recognize the algorithm. Oh, this file is touched multiple times. This one needs to be prioritized. Or sometimes your PC will say, oh, this needs to be stored because we're accessing this file consistently.
Sure,
so, for example, your connection speed will just get better and better and better as long as you're playing or you have the physical hardware space. Then great. But at that point, you're right. It isn't coming from the GPU. It is coming from a GPU and a hard drive, and the hard drive speed, not so much the just GPU and network at that point.
But now you're talking about things like ad hoc and how
but that's
MMOs function, and that's not what this is going to be at all.
That's what this is. That's what this is. Like you're able to go to Google and stream a game, and it will store some of the files that are used relatively on your PC, and then the rest of the information you're getting consistently and sending back to the server. So
either way, basically, just for the sake of wrapping things up,
sure.
No, I'm not really in agreement that it's going to be as successful as these game companies think it will. I don't think that it's something that is even. If it is possible, it's incredibly difficult, more difficult than.
Let me ask you this question. It's a little bit more on both of you. This question. It's a little bit more on topic with what we're talking about altogether. If GameStop is to choose a buyer,
Oh, that's what this was about? Oh, I forgot.
yeah. If GameStop was to choose a buyer, what is going to make the most sense? Is it going with Redbox? And what kind of ideas that Redbox may have for GameStop versus Hot Topic, and what kind of ideas that Hot Topic may have? I mean, it may not even change anything, but if I imagine it'll revolutionize those companies in some way, or it'll revolutionize GameStop as we know it by integrating the things that both of these companies are really good at in some way, shape, or form. So, which one do you trust to purchase GameStop and do well with?
I think if the Staples guys buy them, nothing will happen to GameStop. They will continue on the path that they're
Staples
currently
and Hot Topic are the same.
Yeah, that whoever those guys are, it's not going to change what they're doing. Obviously, they're a company that just buys department stores at malls and stuff like that, or outlets, and then they just make money off of them. They're going to probably push GameStop to try to make money for them, but I really don't think they're going to be the right fit for that company, and it's probably just going to end up with them getting sold off again.
Yeah.
I think if Redbox buys them, they'll try to do something with it. So
Okay,
it's probably
so you think Redbox?
better fit, but I don't know if anything's going to save GameStop really.
Yeah. There's a lot of things to be fixed. What do you think, MQ? What do you think?
Okay, so I mean, I agree with Blake that if the Staples people, I forgot the name of the people who own all of them, but if they buy GameStop, they might change like a few things, but hardly anything, and they'll either like try to like change the business practices to make it like a little bit better, but it's still going to be GameStop, or I mean, I feel like they would just sell it maybe or something, or make it into a Hot Topic or something.
Right.
Something like that.
It'll just be they'll just be known as Think Geek.
Yeah.
Right. Think Geek.
I think it would go the other way around. I think Think Geek would just get absorbed by Hot Topic.
Yeah.
And then like it's cool thinking about like a Redbox GameStop like mix kind of thing. I could even see GameStop doing kind of like you were saying, vintage stock, where it's like, I mean, they sell anything. They could have DVDs. They would basically just kind of whatever. But to be honest, I'm like, I don't really think GameStop does have a whole lot of a future ahead of it. I don't think it's going to be able to like catch up with the times, that kind of stuff. Because even though physical games are still a thing, just GameStop in particular is not, because it's so much easier to just pre-order it on Amazon or something if you need a physical copy. That's what I almost always do.
And I'm glad that you said Amazon, because if I were to trust any company to purchase GameStop for any reason, it would be Amazon.
Oh
Yeah.
no, they'd probably shut them down and just, or turn them into like, maybe rebrand it Amazon Gaming and then have it be all fancy robot stores. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
Yeah.
How did their fancy robot store work out, by the way? Do we know anything about that?
I think it's still doing great.
Okay, I heard they had a problem with like stealing, but
It would track you down.
To be honest, I would kind of want to steal a robot. Like,
yeah, I want to see.
that sounds awesome.
All right. Well, we covered a lot of topics tonight. And guys, let us know what you think in the comments. If you're watching this on the video on demand, make sure you let us know your opinions on all of this crazy stuff, all this news. Let us know who your one-ups and blue shells are. We'd love to hear it. But again, thank you so much for tuning in to our first Info Cascade podcast for 2019 in this here month of January. Make sure you guys tune into our future content coming to YouTube and Twitch. Make sure you feel free to jump on and say hello over on our live streams. Every single day, for the most part, we're streaming on Twitch. You guys can find that schedule for the most part. It's at 8:15 p.m. Central Time, in exception to Poke Mondays. But if you guys would like to get involved even further and like to support us even more, make sure you guys go subscribe to us over on www.twitch.tv/InfoArcade. Drop that sub. We would really appreciate it, especially if you guys are, in fact, a Amazon Prime member. You guys can link your Amazon Prime membership to Twitch to get a free Twitch Prime, and that will let you subscribe to us for free, supporting us, and you don't have to pay a dime out of pocket. It just helps us and goes a long way. So if you have Amazon Prime and you're not subscribed to anyone with Twitch Prime, do that today. We'd appreciate it. Also, again, special shout out again to Caden, our first subscriber just this week, joining us. We have a lot of special content planned, and we'll be pleased to announce that here in the future. And then also, real quick shout out to our winner of our TechniSport gaming chair giveaway, Nick. Congratulations! That will be here very soon, and I'm super excited to have that over to you. This stream and everything we do is sponsored by TechniSport USA. You guys can pick up their gaming chairs. Go click the link down below, or go to www.technisportusa.com/discount/InfoArcade for a bonus discount on all their chairs at the gaming desk. These chairs are super comfortable. Their desks are amazing, and we think you guys would really like their product. That's why we decided to agree to be endorsed by them and be affiliated with them. So, anything you want to add, MQ or Blake?
Buy our shirts. Wait, are we still selling shirts?
We're not selling any shirts right now, but we will have merch eventually.
Buy our chairs.
Buy our chairs. We're actually we're this close to achieving a partner status. So if you guys are wanting to buy a gaming chair, please do, and use our link, because it helps so much. We also have several other partnerships that we're not willing to talk about at this time that are possibly coming to fruition. Some of which have come to fruition, but we're not ready to announce those yet. When we do have those, we'll be happy to share. But that's it for now. Okay. MQ, thanks for hopping on your first stream, and hopefully you'll be able to.
Thank you for having me.
I'm glad to welcome you to the team, and I've been actually wanting you to join for some time, and here's the day where it finally happened, my friend. So, super excited about that. Anything you want to say to close us off?
Well, I'd just like to, again, say thank you for having me on here, and real excited to continue working with you guys.
Cool.
Sure.
Really like the ideas that you guys bring to the table and stuff. So,
thanks.
It was fun listening was actually a lot of fun just myself, and then contributing what I could.
For sure. Well, it was definitely great having you. So thank you again so much. Everyone, thank you again for tuning in. We appreciate it. And until next time, you guys have.
See ya.